Please accept our sincerest apologies for not being able to support you on the matter for which the above reasons. Right. 9 a.m. meeting this morning. It's currently 9:03. I hate being late for meetings. If you're out here, that means I'm not late.
You're not late, man. What's going on?
Good to see you.
How's life?
You making it look nice? Yesterday I posted a 360 video of my office. And it's in 4K, super high definition, so you can inspect this whole office. But I'm gonna point out three things that maybe you didn't notice. First is this picture. That's my brother Van. That's me. And that's my sister Jordan. So I hope you didn't notice that. Okay, number 2. Whoa! This letter from Porsche from 2005, addressed to me from whoever this is, Dr. Porsche. Dear Mr. Neistat, thank you very much for your kind inquiry as we blah 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 blah. However, we are not able to support your project. All right, this was, I did a show in Paris and there wasn't enough money to do all the things that I wanted to do in the show. So I asked Porsche to sponsor it and to give us, I think, $100,000 and a bunch of Porsches. That was the letter they sent me in response, saying, no, we will not sponsor your show. Okay, the third thing that maybe you didn't notice in here would be this license plate here. This is a license plate for my old motorcycle. Looks legit, right? Okay, I almost went to jail because I was pulled over by a cop who touched this license plate and realized it's not a real license plate, but a piece of paper taped to a piece of plastic. I lost my license plate, so I just made one in Photoshop, and what I didn't realize is that like this is a major federal offense to counterfeit license plates. It's my real license plate number. Anyways, don't do that. Okay, now we can begin. For today's Q&A, I asked you guys what the theme of the Q&A should be. Honestly, I didn't really like any of the ideas that came at me, so I just suggested that today's theme should be New York City. All questions pertain to New York City. Okay, let's begin. Casey, where do you go grocery shopping in New York City? We don't go grocery shopping. Sometimes we go to Whole Foods, but that's just for fun. So we order it using Amazon Prime or another service, and it just kind of shows up at the door. Lawrence asks, how do you cope with noise pollution? Lawrence, of all of the difficulties that are living in New York City, noise pollution is the one that trumps them all for me. It makes me crazy. Like the smell of rotten garbage juice that just floods your face first thing in the morning when you step outside is nothing for me compared to noise pollution. So how I cope with it is not very well, and it will be like the main reason why I leave this city. Hear that noise? I'm inside of a building. Conrad asks, where do you do the most epic time lapses? You know, the beauty of this city is that you go anywhere, you just point the camera and it's incredible. This entire city is like a movie set. My favorite places are on the fringe of the city where you can actually see the skyline. But honestly, it's like, this city is so cinematic, it's one of the reasons why I love it. Glenn asks, where's your favorite place to relax in New York City? I don't relax in New York City. We leave the city to relax. Isaac Rosen asks, why New York City? Great question. I was like really an outcast when I lived outside of the city. I never felt like my ideas were welcomed or warranted, and I was kind of always told I was wrong. And New York City is like this isle of refuge for people who are sort of outliers, people who don't really follow the norm. That's why I moved to New York City. I never felt like I belonged or fit in this world until I moved here to New York City. Why don't you like the subway of New York City? I love that the subway exists. It's an incredible, incredible thing. I just don't like being in the subway. I don't like being close to people, ever. That's probably the biggest thing. I don't like being underground. I feel trapped there. And also it's like you have no control in the subway. I can't control whether it goes or stops or gets stuck or is air conditioned or is hot, and that freaks me out. How tall is the Statue of Liberty? 305 feet. Colleen asks, what's the one thing about New York City that most people don't know? I would say that people here are incredibly friendly. It's when you're all like 8 million, 9 million people packed into a tiny little city, you have to be good neighbors and you have to share space. And the city has its ass, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, the people here are incredibly friendly and helpful and nice, and you all sort of share a common bond, which is that you share this small space. Do you recommend living in New York City? Yes. I think everyone should live here at least once in their life. If New York City were to have a taste, what would it be? It would either be garbage or dollar pizza. What made you move to New York City? I had nowhere else to go. Marie asks, what's your favorite skyscraper and what's the worst one? My favorite, without question, is the Empire State Building. It just looks like New York City. And my least favorite is the New World Trade Center. It's this awkward, weird-looking, compromised thing that looks like it belongs in Toronto. No offense, Toronto. All right, last question. Do you hear that noise? Listen. Okay, that's that noise pollution that I was talking about. Last question. How big are business potentials in New York City? Just the potential of New York City. Like if there's something you want to do and you want to make it, this is the place for that. This is uniquely the place for that. You can do things here, get away with things here, build things here, start things here that you can only do here. And that is the magic of New York City. That's what like Frank Sinatra says, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere.
He's talking about here. Whatever cool thing Jay-Z says in that song about New York City.
I'm the new Sinatra, and since I made it here, I can make it anywhere.
He's talking about here, and that is the magic of this place. The horror of this place is this terrible noise pollution. Do you hear this? The noise that these things make is my least favorite sound. That noise. That noise is my least favorite part of New York City.
You should definitely go follow me on Beam. My username is Chloe Donald because I'm a Scottish YouTuber. You'll see all behind the scenes of my new videos. Plus, check out the beautiful view. Look at my customised Beam shirt.